Hello, and welcome to something a bit new. Something that we've discussed a couple of times, Dave. And you've named it the 3 count, which I think is fantastic.
Well,
the 3 count.
We had a few ideas, didn't we? We had a few suggestions, didn't we? And
yeah,
I like your design of the belts.
Well, you say my design. I've basically nicked them off of the interweb and plonked our channel things across them. But yeah, I think they look all right, don't they?
Yeah.
And so, obviously, parental advisory, because there may be some swearing.
Fuck that.
So yeah, when you came down to mine and Wanda's wedding, we did a 20-minute thing on Stone Cold potentially wrestling a match at WrestleMania. Our thoughts on that, and a few odds and sods in between.
Yeah, we just had a bit of a chat, and hopefully it will grow. So
yeah, well, we're I know from being your friend, but obviously watching your channel over the years, you've been a huge, like me. For people that don't know, and I've sent Dave some information on this over the years. Whether you ever listened to it, I don't know. There's a fantastic podcast out there called The Lapsed Fan. Anybody that likes a wrestling podcast, and they concentrate on all things from the past. So they admit they don't like the current product. You have to bear with it. They're about 4 hours long. But they are fantastically funny. And I class myself as a lapsed fan, Dave. I used to like wrestling. Right. I'm not a fan of it anymore.
No, I must admit, I'm a fan of the old style. The new style seems to get ruined by Vince trying to be keeping it in the 80s and the 90s, or he's got too much control on it. So, yeah, I do watch bits of stuff nowadays, but it's more of I watch it on TikTok and YouTube. So,
well, I'm guessing that you were the same as me when the network first came out. I had it. I watched.
Yeah, I had it.
I thought it was fantastic. It was a brilliant. It was a bit higgledy-piggledy to begin with, but it was going back and watching all of the stuff from the Attitude Era. It was brilliant.
Yeah, you could watch Stone Cold just go and do stunners, and The Rock doing fucking rock bottoms, and the People's Elbow and Triple H. It was just brilliant. It wasn't actually like going back in time. It was like watching UK Gold.
It was, wrestling's version of UK Gold.
Yeah, but you can only watch Del Boy going through that bar so many times.
Oh, I don't know. I can watch that day in, day out. It still makes me chuckle. So, obviously, what's brought this about is probably one of the most polarizing characters within the wrestling scene. Triple H, Paul Levesque, recently announced there'd been rumours that he'd had some sort of heart condition back in sort of just after SummerSlam in August.
Yeah, around September time or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, he went missing, didn't he? And NXT sort of went through a complete rebirth without him, and then
you can tell that he's not been around, can't you? They've absolutely ruined NXT now.
Well, it's just neon lights again now. So
it looks like an episode of Rainbow.
So, and then I think it was on 19th. Was it Thursday or Friday? He finally came out and did a chat on, I think it was on Fox or something like that, saying that he was explaining his heart condition and the fact that he's now retired.
Yeah, sad day. If you go on Twitter and other social medias, there's quite a few people out there saying, "Oh, this is just a part of the story. He'll be back." It's how many times have wrestlers retired and they've come back. He ain't coming back.
Well, I think with this one, I think there was key wording in that. Obviously, myself, Wanda, and Leah. When he said the word easy for him to say, defibrillator in the chest, that's days numbered wrestling.
That's it, done.
You can't be wrestling with a defibrillator in your chest. It's done.
No, I don't even know what that does, to be fair. Obviously, it keeps his heart going or something. Is it like a pacemaker or something, or is it bigger and better than that?
So a defib is, say Leah's got one. It's there to control any problems within the heart. It monitors the heart, and certainly Leah's one. If there is to be a cardiac arrest, it will restart the heart as well. So it's
so it's like so when you see the doctors on telly going clear, he's got one of them inside. He's got a little doctor inside him going.
Basically, it's a Great Ormondry. They call it their guardian angel. So it's looking after them, and if anything should happen, then so all this. Look, we all know that it's pantomime, pugilistic bullshit. Right? They're all fucking actors, but the injuries and the problems that they go through are real. I mean, there's people died in the ring. You look at Owen Hart. You look at Big E the other week that broke his neck.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As much as we take the piss out of wrestling, we all know what it's about. There is a serious side to it.
A very serious side. You know, it's more dangerous than Coronation Street and EastEnders,
which is equally as scripted.
Yes, but worse.
So, what made me laugh? I know you've made some notes, and it'd be interesting to see what notes we've not discussed. What notes you've made and what I've made. So, obviously, he debuted on March the 24th, 1992, in the IWF. He then retired, which I think is quite funny and quite clever, on March the 25th, 2022. So he can claim a 30-year career.
That's a good thing, isn't it? He's done well there, then, isn't he?
Well, I mean, he's not wrestled that much over the last probably 5 or 6 years. It's the Wrestlemania.
You have to take your time, don't you? You have to know what your body limits are, and it's like Paul McGrath when he used to play for Villa. He didn't train, did he? He just played games.
Well, his knees were knackered. He knew his knees were knackered.
His knees were knackered, and that's what I think Triple H has done. He's done nothing different really than Goldberg. Fucking useless twat he is. Yeah. So I think all he's done is just paced it out. He's come back for the pay-per-views. He's done the WrestleMania. He's brought wrestlers through as well, isn't he? So, you know.
Well, he got a bit of a bad. We'll get to that in a minute. Obviously, he's behind-the-scenes rep of not holding people down, should we say, over the years.
Yeah.
So I looked up. He had a total of 921 matches, Dave.
Fucking hell, you have been doing some loads, ain't you?
And he had 180 pay-per-view matches.
Really?
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
It is. You know, no wonder his heart's fucked then, isn't it?
Well, imagine his knees, his back, his arms, fucking everything's fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember. I mean, I got into podcasts with Steve Austin's podcast, and he used to have guests on. And I also remember, I don't know if you ever listened to Steve's podcast. The last question he'd always ask people on his podcast was, "How on a scale of 1 to 10, what pain are you in today?" And they would give a scale, because obviously it takes a hell of a toll on their body.
Are you asking me what my pain threshold?
Yeah, obviously, Dave. What's your pain threshold today? What are you on?
I don't feel pain.
So he joined the WWF in 1995.
Yes. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Because he had a bit of a stint in WCW, didn't he? So.
He did. He was terrorising, and the other one was Jean-Paul Levesque, which is basically the old Hunter Hearst, the French.
Yeah, hotty fucking hot.
Onion eating.
Yeah.
And then he came into as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then he changed his name to Triple H over the years.
Yeah, you know what, right? Wrestlers have to reinvent themselves, don't they? So they don't go stale. I think Stone Cold was probably one of the wrestlers who didn't reinvent himself. He did like stunning Steve Austin, didn't he? Then he come to the WWE and he was just a badass. And that was it, weren't it? But Triple H actually did reinvent himself over the years, didn't he? Just a little change, like growing a beard, growing the AC. Was it ACDC?
He had the handlebar moustache, didn't he? He had the handlebar moustache.
You know, and then he wore the trunks, and then he'd wear jeans, and then he'd wear tights, and he did reinvent himself. And you have to do that nowadays, don't you, to keep people fresh? I mean, fuck me, I try to do it on here. So
you do. People get stale, don't they? People seeing the same act all the time. It becomes tiring and a bit boring.
Yeah, and he managed to do that, and fair play to even when he went to the Authority, and it's things you have to do. So yeah, he's kept himself going for 30 years. He's done well, isn't he?
I think so. I don't know if you know this. He was due to win the King of the Ring in 1996, but he was punished for the curtain call. So he had Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Shawn Michaels, and him were all good friends in the Clique. Nash and Hall had given their notice to leave. There was a match at Madison Square Garden between Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels. They've all come in, giving each other a hug, which is broken kayfabe, the wrestling term for keeping everything sort of behind the curtain. And he got punished. So he got the King of the Ring got taken away from him. And who won the King of the Ring that year, Dave?
Was it Stone Cold? Was it the
Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Yeah, was it the Austin 316's just whooped your ass?
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
So the chances are, if Triple H had never got into that cage match at the end, or the cage at the end of Madison Square Garden, the chances are that Austin 316.
I know. When you look at the domino effect on that as well, because if Triple H had have won that, would we have had DX?
Yep.
It's amazing how it all goes, isn't it? And so it was an ingenious bit of. And when you also think about it, because he didn't win King of the Ring,
yep,
and the DX was formed, did that end the NWO?
Well, it certainly. When you look at the pieces of the puzzle that went in after that, obviously he won it the next year, so he was only delayed a year from it. But the fact that Stone Cold sort of exploded after the King of the Ring,
he did an old, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And then obviously, as you said, it formed DX, co-founded DX, and that was intrinsic in the downfall ultimately of WCW. Yeah. Obviously, the whole
era. Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, with Triple H doing the DX thing, it's almost as if, I think this has been said before, and if it hasn't been said, then why hasn't it? But the NWO actually did wake WWE or WWF up, didn't they? It did actually create the monster that they both were, going head to head, and it was brilliant. So,
well, you look at those Monday Night Wars, and for me, there are a few like the formation of the NWO, but DX in, I think it was in Atlanta, where they're rolling down the street in the tank, supposedly towards the WCW arena that they're in. Although there's some sort of conjecture whether that was actually done the day before, but there are certain things within that time scale with DX and certainly Triple H that were off the chart mental.
Oh, they were just, and it was rude as well, weren't it?
Yeah,
telling people to suck it.
Yeah,
and they actually had complaints. What was the TV company that complained and said you can't say this, you can't?
The Parents Television Council, PTC.
Yeah. And they read the letter out, didn't they?
That's right.
and then in the end, the TV company actually loved it, didn't they? And it's like, well, does that mean we can carry on doing what we're doing, or?
But then also within that, you've got the PTC, this Parents Television Council, and obviously Vince being Vince, for I ain't having that, and he made the right to censor. So the group of people that were a piss take of the PTC. It was, I mean, ingenious, a lot of the stuff, to be fair.
Yeah, that's when Vince had his marbles.
Yeah, he's definitely not got any of them anymore. So Triple H, I've noted also the championships he's won, Dave. So he's five-time Intercontinental Champion, 3-time Tag Team Champion, 12-time European Champion, 14-time World Champion,
12-time European Champion.
2-time European Champion, not 12. 14-time World Champion and the 2-time Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah.
It's not bad for an
He's done well, isn't it? No. Just imagine if he actually really did win all that and it wasn't scripted.
Yeah, if he wasn't told he was going to get them.
Yeah.
The man with probably the most nicknames in wrestling.
Probably, yeah. The assassin was he the Cerebral Assassin?
Yeah. The Game.
The Game. Fuck knows.
King of Kings.
King of Kings, yeah.
And the Connecticut Blue Blood.
Was he?
That's when he was originally Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, when he got absolutely smashed by the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 12. And
yeah,
he hated every fucking minute or every second of it, because I don't think it went a minute.
Yeah, I've seen that, and that weren't no. Yeah, no, I won't even include that as a match. To be fair, now, not what chalk one off.
See, I like the Warrior. I've never spoken to you about the Ultimate Warrior. Massive fan of the Ultimate Warrior. One of the most selfish men in wrestling.
Yeah, he was, and I think you've got to be a bit selfish as well in wrestling, haven't you? You know,
well, they're all competing for this mythical fucking glass ceiling, aren't they? Where they want to smash through it, and obviously Triple H, he did it.
Yeah, you know what? I'd put Hunter bigger than Hogan.
Oh, that's a big one to say. Oh, I haven't thought of that.
Well, this is the idea of the podcast, isn't it? I want to say things that provoke people and get a response, and I do actually think Triple H was bigger than Hogan. I think Hogan, at his time, created something, and he makes out he's this fucking superstar that if it wasn't for him, wrestling wouldn't be here. But Triple H helped take it on to another level when it needed to be taken. There was no competition really, was there, when Hogan was eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and there weren't none, were there?
I think with the trouble with Hogan, the Hogan thing is obviously him and Vince needed each other, so they found. I know Hogan came from the AWA with Vern Gann and all that, and Bill Watts and all those people. They built a organisation together, and obviously with I kind of see where you're coming from. Obviously, the thing with Hogan, he was a dying breed when he went to WCW, and then obviously he was the third man in the NWO. I think I said to you, he didn't want to do it. He wasn't going to do it, and then came through. I would certainly say, as a heel, Triple H is up there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, I don't know how Hogan wore the red and yellow, right? He wore the red and yellow, and it was, I mean, fans in the WCW were actually booing him when he was there, weren't they?
Yeah, they didn't want
to, and they gave all that. But this is what I was saying about Triple H. He can reinvent himself to the mood that it needed to be. He would do what was needed to be for the company at the time. So if Triple H needed to be a face, he'd do it. He'd be a face. If he needed to be a heel, he'd do it. Hogan wouldn't. Hogan was all about, take your vitamins, say your prayers, and all that. Oh, fuck off, Hogan. You're boring, mate.
I think there's a lot of similarities between the person, probably not so much these days, but the personal characteristics of the two, where you had Hogan that was always about helping his friends, Duggan, fucking all those Boss Man, all these people, and keeping people at a certain level below him. And Triple H is more. It was been documented throughout the years that he kept people. He didn't want to put Jericho over. He didn't. There were all sorts of people that he didn't want to put over at the time. And held people down for his own sort of well-being. Where you had Steve Austin on the complete other end of the scale, all he saw was dollar signs in someone. So if he could make money with them, he'd fucking go with them. Whereas Triple H and again Triple H, and if you look at Hollywood Hulk Hogan, another Triple H. Yeah. But I mean, a fantastic mind behind the game, and his in-ring work, I think between 97 and 2001, probably, when he was at his absolute best, probably the best heel I think I've ever seen. Apart from Ric Flair. If you take Ric Flair out of the whole equation, probably the best heel I've ever seen. Yeah,
he is. And the thing about a heel, it's like Stone Cold. Stone Cold was a heel. Stone Cold did go to as a heel, but you still liked him.
Yeah.
And Triple H was the same. I can remember going down to what's the fucking place in London? Earl's Court.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it didn't go to the No, it was Earl's Court, shithole around
Earl's
there.
Court. Yeah,
And
the dog.
we went down, me and my mate Carlos, we went down, I got tickets and we stood there and Stephanie were there. It was when they just got married on screen and stuff.
Probably or off screen.
Well, yeah, I know, yeah. But it was on screen when he got Stephanie drunk and took her to get married. And it was just after that kind of thing. And she was standing on the ring apron and I'm shouting, "Get that fucking slut off!" And all the crowd were loving it. And this is it, isn't it? Triple H, he did what he had to do for the company at the time. So, well, I don't think Hogan would.
I think also, I think that shows the difference between wrestling nowadays and the olden days, where when they were a heel, they actively wanted people to hate them. Yeah. They wanted people to fucking physically hate them. Whereas now, the younger wrestlers and the people that come through now, they don't want that. They don't want people hating them because it's all about social media and their social media presence. And you look at Triple H, and even when Hogan turned heel at the Bash of the Beach, and people are fucking lobbing shit at him. But they courted that. That's what they wanted. And it shows the difference that probably social media has made too. And I think a lot of that's probably destroyed the facade of wrestling. Obviously, back in the days, it was, are these all friends? Do we really know? Now I read so much about wrestling. I don't watch it very much anymore, but I read so much, and I think it's probably destroyed a lot of what these days what I see on the telly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. It is. It's. I think Kevin Owens. I think he's a tremendous heel. Yep. He does actually want people to hate him, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He'll go and tell somebody in the face in the crowd, like, "Oh, you whatever," and it's brilliant. And I like Kevin Owens because you hate him.
Well, someone commented that obviously this past week on Raw where he came out dressed as Stone Cold, so the glass was shattered.
Got my head
he's
on.
Come out with the old bit like you, and done a fantastic job. So I completely agree, and I think we made the comment back on the one we did in the shed that he was the wrong person to wrestle Stone Cold. I take that back. I take it back. I think he's the absolute perfect person.
Yeah. The thing is, he'll look after Stone Cold. There'll be a couple of stunners in there, and I agree with you. I didn't want to see Kevin Owens fight Stone Cold, but we don't know what they've got involved. We don't know what they've got planned. We don't know what they're going to do. And now, you know what? I didn't want to see it when we sat in your shed and we were talking about it. I didn't want to see it. But Kevin Owens is selling that all on his own, isn't he? Because he's getting no help from Austin. He's getting no help at all. All he's had is one video where he's pulled up in a field and said something.
Well, Steve's just going to turn up at the whatever it's called, the AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Yeah, I think that's all he's going to do. Yeah, that's all he's going to do. And I am intrigued now. I'm intrigued to see what happens.
I hope now, because obviously we've been thinking about this, because I watched our little chat the other day, and I hope it's not a case of Stone Cold walking to the ring, doing his thing, walking up to Owen and then kicking him in the gut, stunning him and walking off. I hope that ain't going to be it.
I think Steve's got more respect for Kevin Owens than that, and I think Owens will get his whole moment in the sun with Steve, and he's deserved it in my opinion. He's a fantastic character.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Get back to Triple H. So Hall of Famer, inducted in 2019, 2-time. And I've noted some of his most notable matches. Have you
noted the bit when he came down to Brock Lesnar and shit his jeans?
No, I haven't done that. No. The other one that did that was Sid, wasn't it? He supposedly shit himself against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 13.
I think I just shit myself against him at all.
But yeah, No Way Out 2001 versus Steve Austin, the 3 Stages of Hell. Absolutely fantastic match. WrestleMania 27 against The Undertaker in the holds of barred match. one of my favourite matches from the Royal Rumble 2000, where he fought Mick Foley, Cactus Jack in a street fight. And he took a whack on the leg, and he landed on a pallet, and he had a massive rip in his back of his leg,
hamstring, calf. Yeah. Have you seen that one as well when he'd been working out? Oh, no, he hasn't been working out. He'd done something, and he had a massive fucking bruise round here. It was on, I think, on Twitter or one of these other shit social media things where you say anything, you get fucking people moaning at you. Yeah, massive. Yeah, carry on. Sorry, I butted in.
No. But I mean, I think that's going to be like a pectoral tear or something, I would think something like that.
Yeah, when he did that, didn't he? And he carried on wrestling, didn't he, for about another 10 minutes?
Well, he did the one where he did both. He did his
He's done them both, didn't he? But different
his quads,
times.
didn't he? He did his quads and just kept going.
Yeah,
just a machine.
That's the measure of the man, though, isn't it? That is, you say wrestling's fake, but that is what he is. He does. This is what I'm saying. When you say, what you were saying then. He doesn't want to put people over or do this. Do you think he had some kind of sixth sense where he can say, they aren't ready for it, they wouldn't do what I would do, that's why I'm not letting you go over me?
I don't know. I mean, I think there was a selfish nature to it.
Yeah.
I think they'll none of them would agree to it, but they're all selfish because they're all wanting to earn as much money as they can. So wrestling is inherently a selfish business. Fact, absolute fact. Maybe he looked at some of the people that they were asking him to put over, and he thought, would they do what I would do? And he saw that they wouldn't, and maybe sort of held them back because of that. But that's
who did he hold back then? Who are the reports that he held back? Do you know?
He certainly held back Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
The match that stuck out for me is Booker T. I can't remember what WrestleMania it was. They made this whole thing about Booker T's heritage, the fact that he'd been in prison, blah 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 blah. So they were building. I'm sure it was a world title match. Memory fades from that. But they built him up and built him up and built him up. So you're like, he's going to be like, and they just had Triple H beat him. Sting at WrestleMania. How and why Triple H was allowed to beat Sting is beyond me.
That's WWE, WCW, I reckon. That was more of a, we've finished your company, now we're going to finish your top wrestler.
Yeah, that always. I mean, again, when you're bringing a man of Sting's caliber in, and they're probably on equal paths, wrestling-wise, in history. Probably Sting's slightly higher for what he did.
Yeah, but there again, was it up to Triple H or was it Vince? Did Vince say, "You ain't fucking winning this, son"?
I think Triple H would have had a say in that. I know Sting's never quibbled it, and he said it was the right decision. I think that's a political answer. And I remember watching the match and just was flabbergasted. It was the whole thing of bringing Sting in and to have him win was odd.
Yeah. So, but you don't know, do you? You don't know these. You see, this is what happens in real life. People don't know what happens behind your front door, and they don't know what happens behind my front door.
It's I think it's a sort of the thing with YouTube as well, where people think they know you because you put yourself out there. They think they know you, and they don't. They know a snippet of your life.
Yeah,
it's an odd world.
It is. They do actually come on and think they know you, and this is what is happening as wrestling as well, isn't it? You know, people do think they know you, and they don't have a fucking clue, do they? So it is. Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps I don't know why Sting lost on that one, but you know.
But you look at the legacy of the man. I mean, he what he built with NXT. I know NXT's changed, and it's not what he built anymore. But some of the wrestlers that obviously Jim Ross was originally one of the guys that was bringing people in, and you had that Laurinaitis guy.
Yeah, he was a knob.
fucking idiot, wasn't he? But you look at the caliber of wrestlers that Hunter's brought in over the years. Kevin Owens, Rollins. The list is fucking endless now. That he's responsible for CM Punk at the time. You know, the people that he was responsible for actually bringing in and getting Vince to bring in when he didn't want them is endless now.
Yeah, well, look at Finn Balor. I don't think Finn Balor's being used as much as he should be used, but, you know.
Finn Balor was unfortunate, wasn't he? He got injured the night he won the title.
And he put his shoulder back in.
Yeah, and he never recovered from that.
No.
With Vince, I think Vince saw him as a fucking waste of time and never did anything for him, which is sad, really, because he's a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is. It's all a thing. Have you got more notes? Or
no, you carry on. You carry on.
No. I was reading on the Twitter, and I actually thought this as well, because obviously Cody Rhodes has left AEW, and there's a bit of video going around where Cody's sitting there, and there's a bag, and he opens the bag, and it says, "Hope this still fits." H. I think it says H. And anyway, picks it up, and it's fucking Stardust.
Right.
So, do you think? Well, I mean, you've watched the interview. Is it that AJ Williams or somebody who did the interview? I can't remember.
Is it? I can't remember. It's
no,
Stephen A. Williams or something.
Something like that. Yeah. And like Triple H said that there was something planned for WrestleMania. And do you think that he would have fought Cody Rhodes? Because Cody had that the throne, didn't he, on AEW? Walked up and twatted it with a sledgehammer, and it all broke.
Well, I think it's an open secret that Cody Rhodes has signed with the WWE. He's back. He's in.
Why has he done that?
I don't know. That's an answer I don't know. The question I don't know the answer to. I think the rumor is that obviously Seth Rollins is saying he hasn't got anything for WrestleMania, blah 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 blah, and that's the whole shtick. And his opponent's going to be Cody Rhodes.
Right.
That's what's happening. As for would it have been Triple H? Quite possibly.
That would have been brilliant, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, I've never. I don't know about you. I've not watched a great deal of AEW. In fact, I've watched probably fucking zero, or just over zero. I've never been a massive fan of. I wasn't a fan of Stardust. I thought it was a terrible character.
Yeah, well, weren't it?
I thought Cody in the WWE was a waste of time. I know he's built himself up as the American Nightmare gimmick. I just hope if they bring him in, that they bring him in as the American Nightmare and not as anything like Stardust or anything. Don't fuck around with the characters anymore. Yeah,
because Stardust was gold dust, weren't it? It was a nice little brother connection, weren't it? When Dusty was like having trouble with Vince and all that, and it brought them all three together, and it finished off that little bit of a legacy, didn't it? It just finished that. But yeah, I don't know why Cody's gone back to the WWE. Not with a history. They'll just fucking bury him.
I mean, they've brought in so many people over the last probably 5-10 years that they've come in and they've given them the big push. Or they start in NXT, they do really well in NXT, and then they say, right, they're bringing them to the main roster, and you're like that. Oh fuck, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. You know, you're just going to be lost. It's like Bray Wyatt. That was a waste of. I mean, mind you, he did have trouble mentally, didn't he?
Yeah.
Braun Strowman, they fucked him off and all. It's just, I'm not impressed with it. So
what are your, before we wrap this up, Dave? Any more notes you've got?
I'm a little bit sad that Triple H is having to pack in like this. I would have loved him to have one more match at WrestleMania and go out on his terms. I think, fortunately, in a way, his last two WrestleManias were against Randy Orton and Batista. So two of his mates from Evolution. So I suppose that's, in one way, a fitting way to end. But I would have loved him to have just one more match. And, but the thing is, he can't even get in the ring now to do any punishment, a beating down of somebody, because you just never know. You know what I mean?
I don't know about you. I looked at him on that podcast, the interview he did, and there was a fragility about him. That obviously when he started talking about his three girls and Stephanie, and the fact that he could have been done. When you see wrestlers of that size, of people that you've grown up watching, there, and you see them not as Triple H, but as Paul Levesque, the man, 52 years old. He's not 53, not quite Dave. 52 years old. And you look at the fragility and the fact that you can see how much emotion's in the man's voice. And that actually got to me a little bit, because I thought, when you see these big, strong fuckers, and you sometimes forget they're actual human beings. Yeah. And I actually agree with you. I would have liked to have seen him. For me, wrestlers, if you're retiring, you do the right thing. You lose on the way out. And to have seen him put somebody over potentially, and to retire to and pass the sword to someone else, I think that would have been a more fitting legacy.
Yeah,
not to say that his legacy is damaged because of his health, because I don't think it does.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. It is what it is what it is, isn't it? I don't like normally saying that. It is what it is, but on this occasion, it is. It's
well, health becomes before anything. At the end of the day.
But they also, on that interview, he did actually say that it turns out that his father had heart problems. His grandfather died at the age of 52 or something, and apparently his great granddad, he also had heart problems. So this isn't down to, because no doubt some people will put it down to something that's been taken in the last couple of years. Somebody will put it down to probably
alleged steroids use over the years. Shall we get a diplomatic answer?
Yeah, I mean, he did say that he got an enlarged heart. And for a bloke like that, because I mean, a few years back he put a bit of belly on, didn't he? I think you get to a certain age and you get a bit of belly, but he then sorted himself out, and he was lean, he was mean, he was fit, weren't he? So he's obviously been doing the odd weights and all that. So he's probably got an enlarged heart through what he's done in it all his life. But it was it could have been a hereditary problem. So
as finishing off, Dave, legacy of the man?
Top three. Definite.
I wouldn't disagree. Certainly in heels, I think probably top three heel of all time. I think Ric Flair takes the best heel. He's in the conversation. Yeah,
he's. I've said that I'll put him above Hogan. I will sit here now and put anything on it that he's bigger than Hogan. He has done more for wrestling than Hogan ever. Well, that Hogan hasn't, but you know what I mean. Triple H just did what needed to be done at the time. Hogan did what needed to be done for Hulk Hogan at the time.
Well, I think what separates, for me, I think what would separate Hogan, certainly in your favour, of Triple H, was his ability to have a fucking decent match, and he could carry a match. Obviously, the heel leads the match. He's capable of a world class match in his heyday. He did it for a lot of years. I think that there's something that stands out for me. So obviously, for a lot of Hogan's years, he was the top man, but you'd only see him once, 2-3 times a year on television.
Well, you've only got to look at the NWO when they did the night at the Bash at the Beach or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
The following night, Paul and Nash are there talking to Mean Gene. Where the fuck's Hogan?
And I think on that point alone, obviously Triple H was there night in, night out, week in, week out, twice a week, every week with Raw and SmackDown. So it was a legacy of a man.
Yeah,
I think your argument doesn't not hold water. I think there's a consistency for the ability to have a decent match. He was there every week. He was certainly within the top 2 of the Federation for a long time. And dragged him from the depths of despair, along with Austin, because at the end of the day, without someone else in the ring with you, you've got nothing.
Well, there was Austin, there was DX, because you've got to count DX together. You got The Rock and The Undertaker. Then 5 I said 4. Them 5, or the 4 factions, they made WWE what it was. They took it away from WCW. And Hogan and Hall and Nash had the chance. Unfortunately, Scott Hall got drunk. And
they were all about the money.
That was the problem. They were all about the money. All right, Junie, baby.
Right, Dave, shall we leave it there? We've done 40 minutes, so we've only done about half an hour.
That's good. I enjoyed that, matey. And good stuff. Hopefully the people will like it. Leave your comments down below. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Do whatever you've got to do. This is the first episode of the 3 Count Wrestling Podcast. There might be others. We don't know yet.
I think there might be others. I'm hoping this will talk. And what we'll do is we'll have it on each other's channels. I'll learn how to record this and save it and stick it out on my channel.
Yeah, all right.
Technology. And we'll try and get it on my channel so that people come over to your channel as well and they can watch this on the both ones.
I think what we'll also do at some point is we'll do some old wrestling match watch-alongs together.
Fucking hell, yeah.
And in the meantime, let me push to the end button. So we'll see you soon. Hope you've enjoyed that. Dave, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.